Welcome back everyone. On today's video we are going to continue from where we left off on the last video. As you can see on the picture, the deck beams are done. I need to add the smaller deck beams. I will also on this video make the mast partners and the trims that go around the opening from the top deck to the gun deck that is below. Please consider subscribing to the channel and say hello in the comments. I'm starting by adding the smaller beam. As I've done on the previous decks, these smaller beams, I only add them on the parts that will be exposed. In this case, on the top deck, I'm gonna plank the back part of it and only the front will be exposed. So I add a couple of these smaller beams, one on each side. As I've done on the previous decks, I now need to do the final mast partners. Keep in mind that the previous two decks, the beams were only 3 millimeters. The bottom ones were 4 millimeters. So this on top is back to 4 millimeters. So the method I'm using is the same that I used on the bottom decks and not the one that I've used on the previous two decks before this one. As I've done on those decks, I start by cutting two pieces of wood, one for each side, and then one for the front, one for the back, and those pieces of wood take a smaller piece on the inside that will act as a support for the planks that would be the actual mast partners. Now to make the hole where the mast is going to go through, I use the preformed deck piece that comes with the kit, which I'm not using because I'm making the decks out of beams and planks. I place it in the correct position and I mark where the hole for the mast should be. Now I use a drill and I drill inside the marking I've just made all around it to make it easy to remove those pieces of wood. the final touch with a drum sander on the rotary tool, and then the final touches test fitting the mast to make sure that everything goes through and the mast is straight. With everything ready, before planking, I grab the solution made with isopropyl alcohol and Indian ink. It's about 200 millimeters of isopropyl alcohol and 60 drops of Indian ink, and I apply a generous coat on everything, also on the beams, since part of them are going to be exposed, but mostly on the mast partners. This will give a more grayish look to the wood of the mast partners. I am now preparing the pieces of wood that are the trims of the opening from the top deck to the gun deck below. I'm simply painting it black and weathering them with a bit of sandpaper as usual. This first piece, it's wider than the ones that goes on the sides. It's glued against the second beam. Now the pieces that go on the sides, they are smaller, they don't go as deep, they are prepared the same way, painted black and weathered with a bit of sandpaper. Now I glue these last two pieces. With everything assembled, I go over the edges with a file to make the weathering more even between all the pieces. The final touch is to paint the top of this beam black, and then I dry it. In this case I'm using a blow dryer, and then with a bit of sandpaper do the roughen up of all the paint to match everything around it. This concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed coming along. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help the channel, please consider subscribing, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I hope to catch you all in the next one.